tire screamed, shattering the quiet, followed by a fire engine's wail and a barrage of shouted curses. The truck veered, lights flashing off suburban windows, then lurched to a stop before a sleek silver SUV parked dead center in what was once a fire lane. Firefighters spilled out, hoses ready, only to freeze. No red curb, no warnings, just smooth beige paint and a sign reading HOA guest parking only. On a nearby porch, Margaret Thompson, in a silk robe, sipped lemonade with a smug grin. I watched from my lawn, fists clenched, fury boiling. That fire lane was once crimson, painted at 13 with my dad, Chief Robert Johnson. Now, Margaret's paintbrush had turned a lifeline into a death trap, and someone's survival hung in the balance. It started a week earlier. Taking out the trash, I saw workers slathering the fire lane's red curb with beige, a soulless shade that screamed HOA tyranny. Margaret, self-appointed HOA president of Sunnydale Estates, stood in a sun hat like a dictator directing a parade, barking orders. I asked what was happening. She flicked her eyes at me, dismissive. Enhancing curb appeal. Red's too harsh, stresses people out. I told her it was a fire lane, legally vital, a lifesaver. She smirked. No fires here. It's just eating up guest parking. Stunned, I pressed that covering it was illegal. She scoffed, threatening me. I wasn't, but I wished I had. The next day, I filed a complaint with the HOA, attaching a highlighted city ordinance. Margaret countered with a community email blasting disruptive residents and hyping her Paint and Pinot event to finish the beige takeover, promising wine and appetizers. She turned a violation into a party. I watched, hands shaking, as neighbors buzzed on Chardonnay painted over the last red stripe, one joking he was the next Picasso. My hope that the HOA board would intervene died. I emailed Margaret again. No reply. The city fire marshal, tied up with inspections, needed a week. Then fate intervened. During the 4th of July cookout, a grill spark hit dry mulch near the HOA clubhouse, igniting a blaze. Screams erupted, beer buckets useless against the flames. I ran toward the fire, yelling to clear the area, and called 911. The fire truck arrived in minutes, but stalled. Margaret's SUV blocked the lane, now beige and unmarked. I shouted, "This is the fire lane." A firefighter snapped, "No markings, no clearance. We'll go around." The detour cost 7 minutes. By the time they reached the fire, a shed was ablaze, embers nearing a roof. As firefighters battled, Margaret stumbled out, wailing about her scorched planters. Our eyes met. I growled, "This is on you." Her face flickered with realization her petty power grab had endangered lives. My dad, Chief Robert, arrived, his expression thunderous. He surveyed the beige curb, Margaret's SUV, then me. "Is this what I think?" I nodded. He ordered photos, barking, "This isn't over." Margaret stammered, "Chief, I was just improving aesthetics." He ignored her, calling in a code violation for obstructing emergency response. A firefighter muttered, "Tell that to the family whose shed and dog nearly burned." Margaret paled. The fire was contained, but the damage was done, and her reckoning loomed. She'd crossed the fire chief's daughter, Emily Johnson, raised on fire codes and unafraid to fight. Dawn brought the stench of charred wood and tension. Margaret's SUV vanished overnight, as if she could erase her guilt. But photos, videos, and outrage spread faster than the fire. This wasn't just gossip, it was a public safety crisis in Springfield. On my porch, sipping stale coffee, I watched Dad pull up, fury etched in his face. He'd spent the night filing reports, bracing for media fallout. "She's not just annoying, she's criminally negligent," he said, handing me a folder, photos of the beige curb, drone footage of the blocked truck, firefighter statements, and a damning HOA bylaw amendment Margaret had scribbled, claiming curb color authority without board approval. "She doesn't get consequences until her wallet or ego burns," he growled, urging me to attend the city council hearing. An emergency HOA meeting was called via Margaret's email, its tone panicked, promising to clarify safety misunderstandings. I laughed, she was flailing. The clubhouse overflowed with angry neighbors. Margaret strutted in, her pantsuit screaming desperation, her smile brittle. She claimed the fire lane was never properly marked, but 3 residents flashed photos proving otherwise. I handed her a city violation notice. She clutched it like it might combust. Then Tom Davis, the quiet HOA vice president, stood, holding printed emails Margaret had mistakenly sent him, bragging about erasing the lane for VIP parking and mocking challengers. Gasps filled the room. Margaret accused Tom of sabotage, but he revealed his resignation and urged legal action. Chaos erupted. Residents demanded her ouster. She fled, toppling a chair. City inspectors swarmed the next day, measuring curbs, interviewing neighbors. The insurance company, alerted to the blocked lane, threatened rate hikes unless Margaret was removed and the lane restored. She fired back with an email claiming a smear campaign, accusing me of rigging the fire department and Dad of abusing power. No one bought it. Her emails were now lamppost flyers, captioned "Leadership Failure." The Springfield city clerk called, asking me to testify at the safety hearing. I agreed, ready to bury Margaret's reign with evidence and truth. She thought I was just a neighbor. I was Chief Robert's daughter, and this was personal. Before the hearing, Sunnydale Estates became a bureaucratic battlefield. Cones lined streets, no parking signs sprouted, and city workers documented Margaret's beige empire. Her last-ditch board meeting flopped, no one attended. She called the city, crying harassment, and hired a crew to repaint a curb beige at midnight. Caught by an inspector who fined them for tampering. Whispers turned to scorn. Margaret's name was poison. I worked with the fire marshal, gathering statements, Dad's timeline, firefighters' accounts, a neighbor's plea about their dog's near death. This wasn't HOA drama, it was endangerment. At Springfield City Hall, I walked in with a thick folder, facing a packed room and reporters. Margaret sat up front, sporting a sudden neck brace, dabbing dry eyes. Dad presented first, showing the fire's timeline, the beige curb, the delays. Council members gaped. Margaret claimed aesthetic approval, but stumbled when pressed for proof. Tom testified, exposing her unilateral rule changes and dismissive emails. I stood, detailing the painting, my warnings, the wine-soaked cover-up. Trust in our HOA burned faster than that fence, I said. Silence followed. Margaret's defense, blaming board stress and downplaying the fire, crumbled when a councilwoman snapped, that shed could have leveled homes. Guilty of obstruction, unpermitted alterations, and authority abuse, Margaret faced fines, HOA oversight, and a humiliating order to repaint the curbs red under supervision. She vanished inside her house, blinds shut. The city restored the lane, vibrant red, reflective tape, LED signs flashing, no parking, towed immediately. At a fire safety night I hosted, kids wore plastic helmets, neighbors ate hot dogs, and I spoke on the lane's importance. The glowing curb became a badge of resilience. Margaret's final plea, a bulletin letter blaming a hater coalition, was torn down, replaced with her damning email. Mandatory fire safety training was imposed. She sat, fuming, as our fire's photo flashed in a slideshow. Her house sold to a lively family, oblivious to the saga. The Springfield Fire Department made our case a training module. I spoke to recruits, turning paint into policy. The city mandated HOA emergency plans, sparking reform. Tom led a transparent board, opening meetings, polling paint choices. I, Emily Johnson, became the safety liaison, prioritizing lives over looks. At the next block party, joy replaced tension. Kids climbed a fire truck, neighbors shared pies. The mayor gave me the Red Line Award, a simple plaque symbolizing hazard prevention. Margaret's beige dream had ignited a red revolution, exposing her negligence as a cautionary tale. The curb, now a beacon, stood for a community that fought back, proving truth and unity outshine any tyrant's paintbrush. With Margaret gone, Sunnydale Estates thrived, safer and stronger than ever, a clear victory for safety and accountability.